Talking about maternal death, 6% of maternal deaths are caused by what they call fistula in the health sciences. Delegations concluded a fact-finding mission assessing security situations ahead of reductions of African Union transition mission troops. There has been a rise in the new tax in Kenya, and this is having a negative effect on the populace in Kenya. Good afternoon, our dear viewers. Welcome to the 1 p.m. news edition with Hazele, OGOIGBE, coming to you live and direct from Golfe AFRICA here in the city of Cotonou. Now to the news in detail, starting from the news in brief. Now, the family of one of the victims of the protest earlier this month in Senegal wants justice. Now, the son named Kadim Ba was killed on the same day. Political opposition leader in Senegal, Ousmane Sonko, was convicted of corrupting youth and given a 2-year prison sentence. Sadly, in Senegal, several people were reported shot with live ammunition by men wearing civilian clothes in Senegal, who appear to be fighting alongside the police, according to protesters and rights groups. Now, Senabu Diop, mother of Kadim Ba, demands action from the authorities. And according to the human rights group Amnesty International, the death toll is double compared to the similar protests that occurred in Senegal in year 2021. Crossing now to the local scene. The rainy season is now in full swing in Benin Republic and the surrounding areas. Sadly, the rainy season has had negative impacts in some areas in Cotonou. Houses on the edge of the road are submerged in water. Thereby, the people there are vulnerable to various airborne diseases caused by the rainy season. Now, this is the case for the residents in Logozukba in Kokotomé, and this report gives you more insight.
Josephine Sawyer to speak for 30 seconds without scratching her body during the interview with our reporting team. And that's what most of the residents of this district are experiencing. Exposed to midges during the day, mosquitoes and other insects take over at night. The latest rains in and around Cotonou have left stagnant water in alleyways and houses, preventing residents from carrying out their income-generating activities and others from going about their daily business in peace.
Il y a l'eau un peu partout et c'est difficile de sortir et puis c'est un peu sale parce qu'il y a les herbes qui poussent.
There is water everywhere and it is difficult to go out. And the dirtier it is, the more weeds grow on it. There's dirt when you walk in. It even gives you a bad feeling because it is not clean at all. It is polluted. It is very difficult to go in and out of the house. There's already talk of allergies because if you are sensitive of insects and mosquitoes, you can live a healthy life.
C'est ce que nous vivons un peu ici à Cocotomé grâce à la pluie.
We do not stay at Cocotomé very often thanks to the rain. Those who are at Logozumpa turn on the water and it flows to us. So that's how you see the water leaves there and flows towards us. We haven't found a solution to make the water flow freely. It is just stagnant. Thank God it flows a bit freely. If not, normally it fills up the balcony. As a result, local residents are under threat from a range of diseases, including malaria, cholera, dysentery, and influenza, to name but a few. And the most vulnerable are children, who often innocently play in dirty water, unaware of the health problems caused by infections of all kinds. Residents are calling on the authorities at the highest level to help them find a definitive solution to this cyclical problem and to provide medicines for the treatment of children. The rainy season that began at the end of May has been in full swing since June. Although this period is a blessing in disguise, as it brings an abundance of harvest, it is also unfortunately accompanied by an upsurge in certain diseases. It is therefore imperative that local elected representatives and people of goodwill come to the aid of those threatened by these diseases, particularly children and pregnant women.
Briefly to the African scene, a delegation, of African leaders visited Ukraine on Friday. Now, the group of 7 leaders, including South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa and Senegal's President Macky Sall, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky appealed to the African leaders to ask Russia to liberate political prisoners in Crimea. Now, the mission to Ukraine and Russia, the first of its kind by African leaders, comes in the wake of other peace initiatives such as one by China. Now, the objective is to secure the delivery of grain and fertilizer from Ukraine and Russia through the Black Sea. Away from that, crossing over to, we're still, of course, talking about this. This is on the African scene, and not just the African scene, but in Benin Republic. Now, trachoma is no longer a threat to Benin Republic. The elimination of this disease as a public problem in the health sector was celebrated by the Ministry of Health on the 13th of June 2023 in Cotonou, Benin Republic. More information in the following report.
Future generations now have the chance to be spared from trachoma. Benin has eliminated the disease. This achievement was celebrated by the Ministry of Health on Tuesday, 13 June 2023 in Cotonou. It is the result of several years of work and continuous efforts by the government of Benin and a network of supporters through actions funded by high-profile international donors. Fatumanta Diop is the Regional Director of a partner civil society organization. Dr. Tanya Bissouma Leju, interim WHO resident representative in Benin, believes that this result will have contributed to the significant progress made in the fight against trachoma in recent years. This success should not be seen as the end of the fight, but rather as a starting point for redoubling our surveillance efforts, she concluded.
Au niveau du Bénin, grâce aux efforts conjoints des autorités sanitaires, des partenaires techniques et financiers engagés dans cette lutte.
Thanks to the strong support of the Beninese health authorities, the technical and financial partners, and the Beninese people involved in this fight, we are celebrating today the major success in eliminating trachoma in Benin. Benin's result contributes to the significant progress in the fight against trachoma in recent years. According to Benjamin Ungpaten, Minister of Health, this important decision makes Benin the 5th country in the WHO African region to take this important step in the fight against neglected tropical diseases, following in the footsteps of Ghana, Gambia, Togo, and Malawi. Benin joins 15 other countries worldwide that have been recognized by WHO for having eliminated trachoma as a public health problem. The elimination of trachoma as a public health problem in Benin has been validated by the World Health Organization on 13th April 2023.
Now, this is positive news. Long-distance runner Faith Kipyegon was given $35,000 and a house by Kenyan President William Ruto on Tuesday, the 13th of June 2023, as a reward for breaking 2 world records in the space of 1 week. Now, Kipyegon, who met with Ruto at the president's office, said she would now fulfill a promise she had made to buy her father a new car. Now, the 29-year-old Kipyegon, a 2-time Olympic champion in 1,500 meters, set a new 1,500 world record in Florence, Italy, on the 2nd of June when she broke the 8-year-old mark set by Genzeb Dibaba of Ethiopia. Now, Kipyegon became the first woman to go under 3 minutes 50 seconds with her 3 minutes 49 seconds. She broke the 5,000 meters record last Friday at the Paris Diamond League, beating by clocking 14 minutes 5 seconds, winning the race ahead of former world record holder Letsembet Gide of Ethiopia. Now, Faith has made Kenyan incredibly proud, Ruto stated. She stands as a shining model of consistency, discipline, hard work, as well as family. Faith is a great Kenyan woman, a mother, a wife, and a world champion rolled into one. Ruto pledged that Kenyan government will also give similar rewards to future world record breakers. Now, crossing away from Kenya, moving over to Ghana. 6% of global maternal deaths, sadly, are caused by obstructed labor. Now, this concept is when a baby cannot move through the birth canal. It can also lead to obstetric fistula, a condition that can have a long-term impact on a woman's health, especially in underdeveloped countries. More information in the following report.
Christina James, a resident of Kahama in the Shinyanga region of northwestern Tanzania, traveled for more than 900 kilometers to CCBRT Hospital in Dar es Salaam in search of fistula treatment. Obstetric fistula, caused by prolonged and obstructed childbirth labor, has a devastating impact on women. The injury, which causes a person to lose control over bladder and bowel movements, can lead to further complications if not treated. James says she struggled with fistula for more than 2 years before she received surgical treatment.
I delivered the baby naturally and I was supposed to get stitches at the hospital, but after getting the stitches, they ripped off. I was sent to the hospital, but I already had a fungus infection.
Despite seeking help, James says her medical woes did not end until this year when she arrived at CCBRT Hospital.
I'm asking for anyone who has a child to look at them carefully and send them to the hospital when she feels pain. We shouldn't leave to people who don't know. They cause us a lot of problems.
The memories of her healing journey, she says, are painful. She was socially isolated and laughed at, and found herself unable to work because of the shame associated with her injury. She wants to change this situation for others. Doctors in the country also want to encourage women to understand the condition and seek help. Daniel Michael, a surgeon at a hospital where James is getting treatment, says the community also needs to support women.
We are asking if we can help these women in a timely manner because the biggest problem of fistula occurs during labor pain. These patients are ignored, so we are asking at the hospital level, patients shouldn't be in a long extended period of time of labor pain. And if the hospital can't help them on time, they should refer them as quickly as possible.
Every year, according to World Health Organization, between 50 and 100,000 women are affected by obstetric fistula, which can be treated usually through surgery.
Sad story coming in from Uganda. Uganda police says at least 25 people have been killed in a suspected rebel attack on a school near the Congo border. Now, the police stated in a statement on Saturday that the Allied Democratic Forces carried out the attack late Friday night on a school in the border town of Mbondwe. Now, the school is located about 2 kilometers from the Congo border. A dormitory was burnt and a food store looted. So far, 24 bodies have been recovered from the school and transferred to Brera Hospital, the statement said, adding that 8 others are in critical condition. Now, it was not immediately clear if all the victims were students. The statement said the Ugandan government troops tracked the attackers in the Congolese territory, and the Allied Democratic Forces is accused of launching many attacks on civilians in recent years. The ADF has long opposed the rule of Ugandan President Yoweri Museveni, a U.S. security ally who has been in power since 1986. Established in the early 1990s in Uganda, the ADF later was forced to flee into the eastern Congo, where many rebel groups are able to operate because Congo's central government has limited control there. The ADF has ties with the Islamic State group. On to Somalia. An African Union delegation concluded a fact-finding mission in Somalia, assessing the security situation there ahead of the planned reduction of African Union transmission troops. Now, some of the ATMIS troops are to leave the Horn of African nation at the end of June 2023, while another group would also evacuate the country in September 2023.
The visiting African Union delegation, which included defense authorities from 17 African countries, held a series of meetings with the leadership of the federal government of Somalia, ATMIS, as well as United Nations in Mogadishu. The head of the delegation, Brigadier General Ernest Shamu, said the visit was part of African Union Peace and Security Council's focus on security matters essential for the maintenance and promotion of peace and security on the continent.
The technical field mission seeks to obtain first-hand information regarding the military and security realities on the ground in Somalia, with a view to advising the PSC to take evidence-based decisions within the context of the drawdown of the AU transmission mission in Somalia, ATMIS troops.
2,000 troops will pull out of the country at the end of this month as part of ongoing drawdown. ATMIS officials say they remain committed to handing over security responsibilities to the Somali armed forces in line with existing agreements.
We established committee between FGS and ATMIS. This committee has been extended to ONSOS, which is a good partner for both FGS and ATMIS, to make sure that the drawdown will follow the CONOPS, will follow the provision of the Security Council resolution. On 15, we are going to implement that by handing over the first FOB to the FGS. And then this will continue the process, making sure that at the end of June, we'll draw down 2,000 of our troops.
Somali security agencies have made significant gains against armed Al-Shabaab in recent months. Somali Defense Minister is confident that even when ATMIS pulls out, Somali troops can secure the country.
Handover is a testament that our Somali security forces have demonstrated their strength to take over the security in their country. The Ministry of Defense, with its armed forces, have taken a lead on this huge undertaking. We are keen to work with UNSOS and the AU to ensure that this process is implemented smoothly.
But there have been some terror attacks that showed the need for increased vigilance in the country. Last month, Al-Shabaab carried out an attack on a base manned by peacekeepers from Uganda, killing more than 50 soldiers. More than 10 people were also killed in an attack on a beach hotel in Mogadishu last week.
Nigerians on Thursday reflected on the recent move by Nigeria's President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to stabilize the Nigerian economy through allowing market forces to set the currency exchange rate. Now, Nigeria's central bank has ended its distorted foreign exchange rate, a move the new government in Africa's largest economy hopes will help woo investors and stabilize the local currency, the Naira. Now, the announcement was made on Wednesday from the Central Bank of Nigeria, and it led to a record fall in the value of the Naira currency to 755 Naira per US dollars. Since then, the Naira has recovered some, and the move reflects the changes that the new president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has pledged to make in strengthening the ailing economy, stated analysts. On the Kenyan scene, Kenya's government has proposed a set of new tax hikes. Now, it hopes it will help pay off its massive foreign debt and accelerate economic growth, but Kenyans are hard hit by the high prices. The government proposed finance bill is proving unpopular among citizens and even analysts.
Part of Kenya's tea-producing highlands, this is Githunguri in central Kenya. Majority of voters here voted for Kenya's current president, William Ruto, mobilized by his call to champion the cause for the poor and fight for hustlers in what he calls a bottom-up approach to economic development. But just about 9 months in, few here are willing to speak up in defense of the president.
For example, the tax. Those extra deductions will not just hit the employed people, they'll also translate to us being squeezed. It will affect me because we feel as if we're being forced to pay tax.
In budgetary proposals to be presented to Parliament on Thursday, the government plans to increase taxes on fuel, housing and healthcare, among other things. The government cut fuel subsidies shortly after taking over, and like other countries in the world, prices of basic food items continue to rise, and residents feel the new taxes will squeeze them much further.
Everyone is complaining about the high cost of living. Even the prices of basic commodities like sugar have really spiked. Many people sleep hungry in their homes because life has become unbearable. Soap and cooking oil prices have doubled too.
The promises we were giving as small traders and motorbike riders have not come about.
The president and his allies have defended the tax proposals, saying East Africa's economic powerhouse needs more revenue to avert a debt crisis and fund affordable housing projects.
The higher you tax, it can actually end up creating a lower demand. By lower demand, then it means that we then end up degrowing as an economy. So there is always that sweet spot beyond which, if you tax the economy and the businesses and the consumers, then the demand is going to go down. So we believe we probably could be reaching that kind of tipping point, or whereby any extra collection of taxes will not in any way increase economic output.
The bill is generally expected to pass in Parliament, where the government has a majority. But it has provided fodder for an opposition that wants to seize what it sees as the bill's unpopularity. The main opposition coalition, led by Raila Odinga, has said it plans to organize more protests if the bill is passed.
And our dear viewers, this is where we conclude today's edition of the 1 p.m. news, coming to you live and direct from Golfe TV Africa with Hazele OGOIGBE. Thanks for tuning in. Join me by 7 p.m. for Vocal Point. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday.